Hello, bros. We got more books. I don't know when I bought these. What's today? Sunday? I'm going to say I bought them Friday. Yeah. Anyway. I bought them Friday, bruv. See this book? Choose Your Own Adventure. Went on a little shopping spree Friday because I sold 41 of these books for $300. So I was like, I deserve a treat. And then what do I find when I went there? I found another one from the series. The Spirit of New Orleans. And the characters who lived there. Christopher Briscoe. Thought it was about ghosts, but I do have a... Even though I disliked the entire concept of New Orleans, or Nolans, I do have a section on New Orleans. Is this a hooker? Goddess Celeste. Yeah, I mean, just the whole Mardi Gras party thing disgusts me, but I guess do whatever you want to do. So yeah, there was several books on New Orleans, as you shall see. Mystery, Magic, Death, and Life in New Orleans. 9 Lives is a multi-voice biography of a dazzling, surreal, and imperiled city, told through the lives of 9 unforgettable characters and bracketed by 2 epic storms: Hurricane Betsy, which transformed New Orleans in the 1960s, and Hurricane Katrina, which nearly destroyed it. Dan Baum brings this kaleidoscope portrait to life, showing us what was lost in the storm and what remains to be saved. Mystery, magic. I have a feeling there's not much mystery and magic, but I could be wrong. But I'll never know. Mardi Gras and Magic. The Witches of the French Quarter by Jen Pitts. Speaking of cats, I just saw a tremendous cat battle outside. 3 rounds of intense struggle. But the neighborhood cat bully, feral cat bully, got his butt kicked pretty much. And they were just fighting again, but the neighbor came out and broke it up. Well, with the prayers of our mother's funeral, she brings more than sympathy for Althea's loss. Luella insists Althea descends from a lineage of witches and is the last hope. Is this a novel? It is a novel. Jesus Christ. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have got it. Unless it's worth money, then I'll just sell it. Brian Jocks, 7 Strange and Ghostly Tales. I've heard of the Redwall series, but I didn't know Jocks had a... Is his name Jocks, or is it Jocks? Had a ghost book, but apparently he does. I'm guessing it's young adults, which is off-putting, but I don't really like young adult stories. I never read them when I was a young adult or youth adult, whatever it is. Necromantica. If you've watched previous videos and corresponding ones, you saw the name of... What was her name? Lucille Blenman. Well, what do you see here? A novel by Keith Blenman, who also happens to be from Metro Detroit. So I tracked this guy down on social media and asked him if he knew of a Lucille. Obviously, she died 40 some years ago, and this guy is probably not even, he may be 40. I don't know how old he is. But he's running it by his peeps to see. It would be really weird since I bought the book with Lucille's name in it last week and then went to her grave and read her a chapter of the book that said, "Please return this book to Lucille Blenman." And I read her a chapter, and then, what is it, 3 days later, I find a book that's possibly one of her relatives wrote. Just kind of bizarre, but such is my life. The Last Madam, A Life in the New Orleans Underworld by Christina Wiltz. Obviously, it's about prostitution. French Quarter Madam Norma Wallace was one of those characters who could flourish only in New Orleans. She served jail time, she received a key to the city, and she died a violent, mysterious death. Norma Wallace grew up in the fast, rough neighborhoods of New Orleans. In 1916, as an ambitious 15-year-old, she went to work as a street walker. Jesus Christ. How the fuck is that ambitious? She's a hooker. Kidnapped by Stevenson. What's it? R.L. Robert Louis Stevenson. Printed in Great Britain by Dean and Son. Being memoirs of the adventures of David Balfour in the year 1751, written by himself and now set forth by Robert Louis Stevenson. Doesn't give a year. I don't know anything about Robert Louis Stevenson, to be honest with you. I know he wrote, didn't he write, what did Stevenson write? Kidnapped, and I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to read it, but for 50 cents, I couldn't pass up a vintage to antique edition. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Huckleberry Finn. This one does have a date, 1918. Copyright the Mark Twain Company. Curious. Huck Finn by Grossop and Dunlap, authorized edition. Persons attempting to find a motive in this narrative will be prosecuted. Persons attempting to find a moral in it will be banished. Persons attempting to find a plot in it will be shot by order of the author. I think I've read a chapter of this book before and I was not impressed. But lots of people like Twain, and he does have a Detroit connection since his daughter was married to a symphony conductor. For the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. Myths and Mysteries of Michigan. True stories of the unsolved and unexplained. Does a legendary pirate treasure lie beneath the waters of Lake Michigan near Poverty Island? Legends dating back to the Civil War tell of massive chests of gold flung. What really happened to Jimmy Hoffa? Is the Great Lakes Triangle as deadly as the Bermuda counterpart? As its Bermuda counterpart? Oh, yeah. It's late. Pardon. Whoa, whoa. Is that the Lucaroo? No, that's the Michigan dog, man. Thought it was a Lucaroo. This book's interesting. Gaylord Hauser's Treasury of Secrets. Just a mishmash of 1960s. How to look younger, what to eat. This book was written or published as a labeling device for any product. This book was not written or published as a labeling device for any product endorsed by Gaylord. Wait, is his name Gaylord with the E? No, they spelled it wrong on one of these. For Gaylord Hauser, any attempt by a manufacturer, retailer, or salesman to use this book in conjunction with the sale of any product whatsoever shall be considered against the wishes of both author and publisher. You are what you eat. More vitamins for longer life. Eating should be fun. High vitality meal planning. Your good health. Build up your body's resistance. Look younger. Look at this. Cool water massage for tired eyes and puffiness. Nice fucking face. Hey. Oh. Look younger, live longer goals. Monday for breakfast. 10 minutes before eating, super lever. Fruit juice unsweetened. French omelet. 1 slice high protein bread, buttered lightly. Cafe au lait or tea. It's funny they mentioned fruit juice unsweetened because it seems like grapefruit has completely left the shelves, both the fruit and the juice, and has become almost extinct unless you go to like a Trader Joe's or something and pay $8 for it. Not that you care about that, but I like it. It's good. I like grapefruit juice. Agatha Christie, Poster and a Fate. I mainly got it because it has a Mylar jacket on it, but it's also a classic vintage book. It can't hurt to have a hardcover of Agatha Christie around. Not that I'm ever going to read it. Tommy and Tuppence Beresford, the engaging detective duo of NRM and of By the Pricking of My Thumbs, return in their most chilling adventure. It begins with the discovery of an artfully hidden message. Mary Jordan did not die naturally. It was one of us. I think I know which one. Mal's Diary, or is it Maul's Diary? Anyway, I have several of these Disney books which are worth a reasonable amount of money, $7 to $10 range. I plan to make a bulk lot and sell them and make some cash so I can buy more frickin' books. And lastly, wouldn't like it here, a real guide to Upper Michigan. I can't read. You wouldn't like it here, a guide to the real Upper Peninsula of Michigan by Lon Emmerich, from notes by Sam Satterley, with disturbing illustrations by Carolyn Damstra. Ticks burrow into any tender spot they can find and proceed to suck your blood. They are hard to detect because they don't buzz or whine. They don't make contact. Blah blah blah. You don't need to know much about geography to appreciate the fact that the Upper Peninsula of Michigan is in the north, the very, very far north. Here are the facts. Marquette, blah blah. Population 21. Now, doesn't that tell you something about this? Anyway, signed. Probably isn't worth anything, but it's a Michigan book, and I collect them. And this guy's probably a better writer than Stephen King. Oh yeah, shit, I almost forgot about this one. Save the best for last. Bound periodical. That's upside down. Bound periodical of Harper's Magazine, volume 222, January through June 1961. And I've always liked these bound periodicals. Harper's Magazine. The Baffled Young Men of Japan. My other books, James Michener. There's some other interesting articles in there. The Dangerous Road Before Martin Luther King by James Baldwin, which would be a really interesting read since we know what happened. Let's see where the Dangerous Road Before Martin Luther King, page 33. A remarkably intimate and controversial view of the most important Negro leader in America and the harsh dilemma now confronting him by one of the country's most talented Negro writers. I first met Martin Luther King Jr. nearly 3 years ago now in Atlanta, Georgia. He was there on a visit from his home in Montgomery. He was holed up. He was seeing no one. He was busy writing the book, etc., etc. And there's more stories, cool little articles. How to run a small foundation. Chicken explosion. Africans beat on our college doors. Can we bring back the old-fashioned bank robber? Trial by combat in American courts. The good slum schools, the happiest creatures on earth, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah, for 50 cents I couldn't pass it up. Yeah, could have, but why would I? Hey, I just went to Barnes & Noble and I picked up some good books. Yeah, I don't go to Barnes & Noble unless I'm really bored. And I don't edit these videos. Unless I'm sneezing, then I push pause. What's this say? Something about Dali. Why the scallop shells in Dali's famous painting? Look closely at the monumental paintings of St. James at the Beaver Brook Gallery in Fredericton. On the chest of the Apostles' Charger, you see a scallop shell. In fact, the symbolic heavens surrounding the saint are studded with shells. And embellishing his painting with scallop shells, Salvador Dali let history and tradition guide his brush. For St. James is often depicted wearing the scallop shell. This same emblem, the scallop, became the badge of pilgrims journeying to the Apostles' Shrine in Compostela, Spain. Great. Anyway, I gotta go to bed. Goodbye. Goodbye, bruv.